Hi, everyone. It's Jane from Illumini Body here with another weekly hip stretch. And this week we are stretching again the adductors or the groin muscles or the inner thighs, however you want to think about them. Sometimes you might feel it closer to the knee. Sometimes you might feel it closer to the pelvis. So today we're going to do a pretty classic stretch, one that you've probably done if you've ever done yoga, but this is going to be a version for non-yogis. So you can either sit on the floor, or you can sit up a little bit elevated on a block, or you can sit on a chair or a stool, maybe something this height, and have your feet a little elevated. You want to basically be able to moderate the distance between your pelvis or your groin and your knees. So that distance and height is going to determine how little or how much stretch you get. So if your adductors are pretty tight, I would sit up higher, so your pelvis is higher and your knees are lower. If they're pretty open and you just want a little stretch, you can sit on the floor. In whatever position you're in, I want you to be able to sit up with a neutral spine, more like this, right? And we don't want to be rounding in the spine, okay? We want to have these natural curves, which means that we have a little bit of a curve in our lumbar. Okay, so I'm going to sit up on a block, and my sits bones are on the block. And I'm going to start with my legs out straight. And again, you may not be able to get your legs straight and still sit up tall, which is totally fine. That's why we're here. So the first thing we're going to do, I'm going to bring my feet all the way together. And actually, I'm going to bring my heels together and turn my legs out a little bit. And then I'm going to slide my feet in. So again, some people might be able to get to here comfortably. Some people may get to here. Wherever it is where we start. And it doesn't really matter. So I'm going to come into about here. We're going to, again, check our posture just to make sure that our sits bones are really connected to whatever surface we're on, and we're sitting up tall. And we're going to try to create an even balance between the left and the right side. So you can see my right side is like just slightly higher than my left because my right hip is a lot tighter than my left. That's kind of how it is, but I'm trying to create even weight on my sits bones. So from here in this open or butterfly position, I'm just going to bring both hands to my knees. And I'm going to very, very gently press into the knees. And then I'm going to press my knees into my hands. So we have this oppositional force happening between the knees and the hands. And we're going to hold that. And as we do that, I want you to notice if anything else around the hip is kind of activating or turning on. So like my hip flexors always want to do work. And so I'm just going to try to like encourage them to turn off and really see if I can feel these muscles doing the pushing back into my hand. Great. And then we're going to release, keep that tall stature. And then I'm just going to open my hips a little bit more. Hopefully they can open maybe a quarter inch, a half an inch more. And then I'm going to do that again. I'm going to press very gently into my knees and press my knees back into my hands. And I can feel a little bit of activation happening in here. And I want to turn off anything happening here or happening here, right? So you can lighten up on the load. You can just kind of manually say, hey, let go a little bit, whatever works. And breathe. And then we're going to let go. So you might do that for 3 breaths, 4 breaths. And then maybe we can open a little bit more. And then we'll do one more. You could do this on one leg. You could do it on both like we're doing here. Try to keep a little bit of pressure in the feet, not a ton again. This isn't like shoving the legs into a place. This is a gentle stretch with some work in the adductors so that they are being trained to be in a longer position and do work, which means they're going to stay in that longer position a little more easily or build strength in that longer position a little more easily. And then release. Good. And then see if they can open a little bit more. Good. And you're not going to get this huge difference, but you might get a little more openness. They may stay a little bit more open. So that is today's adductor stretch, this week's adductor stretch. And I hope you try it and let me know what you think. All right. Thanks and happy hips.